Swifties, brace yourselves, because what you're about to hear is not just another Travis Kelce headline. This isn't a story about touchdowns, championship rings, or the thrilling chaos of the NFL spotlight. No, this story dives deeper. Much deeper. This isn't about the glory of game day or viral locker room moments. It's about something far more intimate, far more human, and infinitely more powerful. This is a chapter of Travis Kelce's life that strips away the bright lights and roaring crowds. A story that reveals the man behind the jersey, the emotions he guards, the struggles he faces when no one's watching, and the moments that define him beyond fame and football. Because sometimes, even the strongest icons are carrying stories no one sees. And today, that story is finally being told. Emotional doesn't even begin to describe it. In a moment that blindsided everyone, fans, reporters, even his teammates, the big, bold NFL powerhouse, the man celebrated for bulldozing defenders and firing off witty trash talk like a seasoned pro, was left utterly speechless, not by a rival on the field, not by a crushing defeat, but by something so innocent, so pure. It brought the entire room to a halt. It was a small voice, a tiny, heartfelt request from someone who holds a special place in his world, his niece, little Wyatt Kelce. And in that instant, the towering figure we all know as Travis Kelce was no longer the unstoppable football legend. He was just Uncle Travis, vulnerable, humbled, and moved in a way no one saw coming.
It was awesome she was on top of the world for a week.
She was the heavyweight champ, man.
So here's how it all unfolded. Travis Kelce and his brother Jason were in the middle of recording their hit podcast, New Heights, a show that's become a must-watch for fans around the world. The vibe was familiar. Two brothers, larger than life, trading football banter, teasing one another with the kind of sharp humor only siblings can pull off. Laughter echoed, the energy was high, and everything was rolling like clockwork. And then, everything shifted. Without warning, in walked Wyatt, Jason's 4-year-old daughter, innocent, wide-eyed, and full of that childhood magic that has the power to melt even the toughest exteriors. What happened next would completely change the tone of the room and reveal a side of Travis Kelce that fans...
Wyatt asked if she could say hi.
What?
Come on.
Yes. Look
Hi,
at
Uncle
you.
Trav.
What's up, girly? How you doing?
Good.
The moment Wyatt stepped into the room, everything changed. Travis Kelce, usually the loudest voice in any space, quick with a joke, fearless on the field, and unstoppable behind the mic, was instantly all in. Because if there's one thing he might just love more than football, it's being the best uncle in the world. His face lit up with that signature grin, ready for the usual round of playful back and forth with his niece. But this time, it was different. Wyatt looked up at him with her wide, innocent eyes, her expression dead serious. There was no smile, no giggle, just quiet, heartfelt sincerity. And then she dropped a bombshell that hit Travis like a freight train. "Uncle, Trav, can I stay with Taylor?" Silence. Absolute, breathtaking silence. For the first time in what feels like forever, Travis Kelce, the man who thrives under pressure, who stares down 300-pound linemen without blinking, was completely, utterly stunned. His jaw literally dropped. Jason, trying to process what just happened, raised an eyebrow and bit back a laugh. But Travis, he was locked in place, blindsided by a wave of emotion he didn't see coming. Because this wasn't just a sweet, innocent question. This wasn't Wyatt asking to hang out at a friend's house. This was a 4-year-old little girl with all the sincerity in her tiny heart, asking to stay with Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift, the woman who, over the past year, has transformed Travis's life in the most beautiful and unexpected ways. She's no longer just a global music icon. She's become someone deeply woven into the fabric of his life, someone his own family is beginning to love in their own way. And this moment, this wasn't casual. It was deeply emotional. It was a declaration. Wyatt, in her pure, unfiltered way, saying, "I feel safe with her. I love her. I want to be around her." And for Travis, that meant everything, because this is a man who wears his heart openly, a man who has always said that when he loves fully. And now, standing in front of his niece, watching her, express this innocent, heartfelt affection for Taylor, it hit him like nothing else could. His voice cracked as he finally found the words. "You want to stay with Tay, huh?" He exhaled, shaking his head gently, a soft, emotional smile spreading across his face. Man, she's pretty special, huh? And just like that, Wyatt, completely unfazed, as if she hadn't just turned Travis Kelce's entire world upside down, gave him a sweet little wave. "Love you, girl," he said. "Bye, Uncle Trav," she replied, walking off like the tiny queen she is. Because in her 4-year-old mind, it made perfect sense. Why wouldn't she want to stay with Taylor Swift? She's practically a real-life Disney. Princess, a rock star, and the coolest aunt you could ever imagine. All rolled into one. And while fans were already tearing up just witnessing this raw, beautiful moment unfold, you can only imagine how Taylor felt when she heard about it. Because Travis told her, this is the man who lights up, literally glows, whenever her name comes up. The way he talks about her, the way he looks when she's mentioned. It's undeniable. There was no way he kept a moment like this to himself. Not when it meant so much. Not when it came straight from the heart of someone he loves more than life itself. The second the podcast wrapped, there was no hesitation. Travis was on the phone calling Taylor. Fans watching the moment unfold were quick to jump into the comments, their hearts fully invested. One wrote, "I'm sure he scooped that baby girl up and took her straight to see Taylor." Another added, "Oh my God, he loves those girls so much. You can just feel it." And somewhere, possibly backstage at her Eras tour, in the middle of breaking the internet with another show-stopping performance, Taylor Swift probably paused, clutched her heart, and whispered with a smile, "Wyatt, I love you too." Because this isn't just about Travis and Taylor anymore. This moment, the innocence, the love, the honesty, it proves something deeper. Taylor Swift isn't simply dating one of the NFL's biggest stars. She's slowly becoming part of the Kelce family. And not in a superficial photo op way. This is real. This is about connection. It's about trust. It's about genuine emotion, and the kind that you can't fake on camera. What began as a public long shot, Travis Kelce, casually admitting on his podcast that he tried and failed to give Taylor a friendship bracelet at her concert, has turned into something that feels more like a fairy tale unfolding in real time. At the time, it felt like a bold move. Sure, he's a Super Bowl winning tight end with charisma for days, but she's Taylor Swift, a global icon, a living legend, a woman whose name echoes through stadiums filled with thousands of screaming fans. No one knew if she'd even notice, let alone respond. And yet, here we are. Not only did she respond, she showed up. She showed up for Travis, for his games, for his family. There she was, in the stands, laughing with his mom, hugging his dad, building bonds that run deeper than the glitz and glamour of fame. And now, even Wyatt, his 4-year-old niece, wants to stay with her, wants to be around her, loves her. That's not media hype. That's not just romance. That's real. And Travis knows it. You can see it in the way he talks about Taylor. You can hear it in his voice, the weight, the gratitude, the awe. He knows how rare this is. And he knows that having the people who've been by his side his entire life embrace Taylor with such warmth and love, that's what makes this entire experience so deeply meaningful. Wyatt adores Taylor. Travis loves his niece more than words. And Taylor, if her track record of kindness and creativity tells us anything, she's probably already brainstorming ways to make Wyatt's little girl dreams come true. Because for her, it's never just about being liked, it's about making people feel seen, loved, and part of something special. And believe it or not, this isn't the first heart-melting moment between Taylor and Wyatt. Ever since Taylor stepped into the Kelce family's world, Wyatt has been right there, wide-eyed and enchanted. From day one, she's soaked up every magical moment like a sponge. And honestly, can you blame her? When your uncle starts dating the Taylor Swift, it's like your bedtime story just came to life. It's like gaining your very own real life. Fairy tale princess as an honorary aunt. One of the earliest and most unforgettable memories happened during a Kansas City Chiefs game. Taylor was spotted sitting in the Kelce family suite, casually cheering on Travis, glowing with pride. Most kids in that situation might be distracted by snacks, restless from the noise, or simply uninterested in the commotion of professional football. But not Wyatt. She wasn't looking at the scoreboard. She wasn't watching the game. She was watching her. Watching Taylor. Eyes sparkling with admiration, soaking in every second like it was the best day of her life. That look, the pure, unfiltered joy of a child experiencing something magical, that's the kind of moment that stays. With you forever, and for Taylor, that's the kind of love that can't be bought, rehearsed, or planned. It's the kind that reminds you why connection matters more than celebrity ever could. During the second quarter, as the crowd roared and the energy inside the stadium soared, little Wyatt couldn't care less about the game. While thousands of eyes followed the ball, her eyes were locked on Taylor. There she sat, Wyatt dressed head to toe in her adorable Chiefs gear, perched right beside Taylor Swift, utterly mesmerized. And it wasn't just her gaze that had fans gushing. It was the way Taylor looked back at her, spoke to her, laughed with her, like they'd been best friends their entire lives. There was no distance between them, no wall of fame, just two souls, one small and starry-eyed, the other iconic and genuinely kind, connecting in the most heartwarming way. And then, it happened. A moment so sweet, so pure, it sent Swifties and Chiefs Kingdom into an emotional tailspin. Taylor leaned down, whispering something into Wyatt's ear. Whatever she said, it worked. Wyatt immediately burst into giggles, that bubbly, uncontrollable laughter only a 4-year-old can have when they feel completely seen and loved. The internet exploded. Speculation swirled. What did she say? Was it a secret joke? A surprise? A promise of a playdate? We may never know the words, but the moment said everything. Wyatt was all in on the Taylor Swift experience, not just as a fan, but as someone who felt like she belonged in Taylor's world. And how could we forget the bracelet moment? Yes, that bracelet. Wyatt, already proving herself as a true Swiftie in training, made a friendship bracelet for Taylor. Not just a random one, but a handcrafted string of colorful beads with T spelled proudly in the center. It was pure, it was personal, and it was powerful. Taylor's response? She didn't just smile and say thank you. She didn't tuck it away for later. She slid it onto her wrist right then and there and wore it for the rest of the night. There she was, one of the most successful artists on the planet, covered in designer fashion, cameras flashing from every angle, rocking a handmade bracelet, from a 4-year-old like it was a priceless heirloom. That's how much it meant to her. That's how much Wyatt means to her. If that doesn't prove the depth of Taylor's affection for Wyatt, and show how deeply she's connecting with Travis's family, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. At this point, it's not even a question. Wyatt isn't just a fan. She's Taylor's biggest little fan. And every hug, every whispered giggle, every shared moment between them is a reminder that this isn't just a headline romance. It's something real. Something rooted in love, sincerity, and family. So what's next? Will we see Wyatt sitting front row at a Taylor Swift concert, proudly wearing a custom Kelce Swift jersey? Will Taylor write a song about this tiny, magical moment between herself and her biggest little admirer? Is Travis, now seeing how naturally Taylor fits into every corner of his life, starting to think more seriously about a future that includes marriage, kids, forever? At this point, anything feels possible. What we do know is this story isn't over. Not even close. Because if this heart-melting moment taught us anything, it's that Travis Kelce has found something real with Taylor Swift. Something that's not just about public appearances or fleeting infatuation, but something built on trust, mutual love, and family. And if Wyatt has anything to say about it, Taylor's not going anywhere. Not now. Not ever. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another update on Travis, Taylor, and every beautiful, emotional Kelce family moment that keeps reminding us what love is really all about. We'll see you in the next one.